This is where Steve Carell, this is where Tina Fey, this is where Amy Poehler, this is where Chris Farley, Stephen Colbert, they all came from the Second City. I believe all of them actually came from Chicago, the same building I'm in right now. I believe this specific place has been established since like 1920, maybe 1960. I think 1920 might be way too early. I'm not sure, but it's been here a long time, and the alumni is absolutely amazing. And so the classes here for improv, there's so many, right? I'm taking improv for actors 2 currently, and there's improv for actors 1. Basically, if you're an actor, you want to learn how to implement improv. It's a little weird because every instructor will be different in terms of how they teach, but essentially how you implement improv into a scene, establishing a relationship and really diving deep into subtext. And there's so many different things, like the improv games that don't really translate into acting as a whole, but still, learning improv, learning to say yes and, support, trusting your intuition, committing to the bit. These are things that actors can always take away and learn from while on set. And so for today's class, kids, the Improv for Actors 2, what we learned was that there are 3 key takeaways. I mean, I write down so many different things about the games that we played. We played a game called Foursquare. That is very, how do you say it, well known in the improv space. Today really wasn't, how do you say it, I didn't make too many mistakes, which is, you could think is great, but I want to make those mistakes, and you should always pursue taking a risk and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, whether that's accents, and we'll get to that later in this video because I have such a hard time with accents. And so take a risk and make a mistake and then learn from those mistakes. If you go through acting classes, improv classes, whatever kind of classes you want to grow to as an actor, and you don't make mistakes, how are you learning? I mean, yeah, you could go through all those weeks, however long, and not stretch yourself as an actor. And that's the whole point, to push yourself beyond your limits. Anyways, one key takeaway was, this might be the most important, so I'm gonna get up close and personal with you guys. One of the most important things is don't be prepared. That sounds so weird. I even wrote that down. It's such a weird thing to say. Do not be prepared. In an improv scene, you don't come with, do not come. Do not come, Kamala Harris. You can't plan for improv. Improv to me is exactly how Sanford Meisner is one of the greatest minds in the acting world. From, I know Konstantin Stanislavski, he studied at a certain school. He's Russian, I'm half Russian, so that's how we relate. I would love to go to the Moscow Art Theater. But as I was saying, don't be prepared, because it's literally like life. Oh, I was talking about, I'm so all over the place with this, but I'm keeping it in the edit, because this is raw and authentic. Sanford Meisner's definition of acting is being truthful under imaginary circumstances. And some people say acting is reacting. Acting is listening. And you can implement this into improv. When you do a scene, improv is about reacting, is about listening in that moment. And so when I say don't be prepared and don't have preconceived ideas, what I mean by this is that you can't plan for life. You can't plan for what someone is going to say to you on a certain day. You can't just wake up and throughout your day you're like, oh, I know exactly what the cashier at my local Walmart when I check out is going to say to me. I know exactly what my brother's going to say to me, my mom's going to say to me when I mention this. I mean, yeah, you have an idea, but there's no point. You're giving yourself too much stress. And I gave myself a lot of stress going into improv scenes, having a funny joke in the back of my mind, or an idea when I notice myself zoning out, when I'm not listening to my partner fully, because it is active listening, then I have something to fall back on. I have an idea that I thought about to fall back on. But say your scene partner and the way that your scene has progressed, where if you say whatever preconceived joke you have or idea you have, you say it, it just doesn't make any sense. Now, there's a lot of randomness when it comes to improv scenes, but there's just really no point. and you're giving yourself too much to think about. And the whole point of improv is to react, is to listen to your scene partner. Add on top of it, establish the relationship, the environment, and the goal, the event, what's happening, essentially. And so, someone who's been in their head so many times during improv scenes, some of my best improv scenes have been moments where I don't think. Most of the time, it's because I travel 5 hours to get here, and it's a 3-hour improv class, so naturally, I'm just tired. So I don't want to give energy to thinking about anything at all. And then when I show up to class, I'm just like, I'm drained. Whatever you say, I'm just gonna take and just run with it. And that's exactly what you should be doing. Exactly. Whatever they say, take it, and then just say yes and run with it wherever you go. But one thing that helped me is to understand, like I said, the relationship, the environment, and what's the goal, what's the event. Those things help me get out of my head. Now, how do you establish the relationship, the environment, the event? What is your goal? A simple way that I do this is, okay, a great practice is 3-line scenes. You may practice this in your improv class, but essentially the point of 3-line scenes is person A, you have 2 people, person A will say 1 line, second person will say the second line, and then a 3rd line. And within that, this is a great training exercise, is to establish who you are to each other. Are you a brother and a sister? Are you a cop and a robber? Who are you to each other? Low bit rate. What does that mean? The environment. Where are you? You're going to act a lot differently if you're a boss and employee in the break room rather than if you're a boss and an employee on a deserted island. I mean, the environment does matter. So establishing where you are by physically doing things. And then what's the event? What's the goal? Are you trying to get a promotion? Okay, if you're on a deserted island, you want a promotion, maybe you should say, oh, I'll create the raft for us to get off of here. You know what, actually, let me do it all myself. You kick back, you relax, you work too hard. See, now you're already establishing the, how do you say it? The environment, what you want, the goal, and it all varies, it all varies. Don't be prepared. It's okay to have preconceived ideas, but understand that you should cut them off at a moment's notice. If you go into a scene and thinking, all right, I want to be a race car driver and this is going to be my pit crew. You could sit in a chair, you could stand up, it doesn't really matter, it's up to you. You could start driving just like this, and then your scene partner can come up to you and you're like, okay, it's easily assumed that I'm driving, and someone says, bro, you play that Nintendo Switch so well. You had the preconceived idea of being a race car driver, and now your scene partner said that's a Nintendo Switch, so guess what? It's a freaking Nintendo Switch, and you're like, bro, I'm the best one in the whole wide world. I'm ready for our tournament later. I mean, just keep adding to the scene, right? I think these are the questions that we should focus on. This is what, if you're gonna think about anything pre-planned, which I literally just said, don't be prepared, don't have anything pre-planned. It should be, how well can I set the relationship? How well can I make the environment a part of the scene? What's the event occurring? What's the goal that I want? And these are questions that you can always go back to yourself on, even in a scene. Because here's the second point. Actually, here's the final point. Oh, no, I have 4 key takeaways. It's about listening physically. Now, a lot of us listen with our ears. You probably think you're listening right now, right? You probably are. And active listening takes time and energy. And I appreciate your time and energy. But there's something about physical listening. Like, are you listening with your eyes? Meaning that, yeah, I could be speaking to you about what I'm learning about improv for actors, but what's my body language saying? Am I a little reserved right now? You know, do I need to be, I don't want to open my legs just like that. What's my body language? Body language is something that you can listen to as well. Not just verbal communication. That was a freaking bar. That was a freaking bar. So make sure you focus on the physical too, as well as the verbal. Something that I'm learning a lot in Improv for Actors too as the weeks go on is subtext, and I kind of talked about this a second ago, where what's being unsaid? What's something that's, how do you say it? If you ask your partner, I love you, and they say it happily, like, I love you. Or if they say yeah, I love you. Like, what's going on underneath that subtext? What's going on? There's something being not said that's also being said, if you know what I mean. And so that goes with body language. There's something that's not being said that your body language is saying. That's the questions you should be thinking as an actor. In an improv scene, before you go up, if you want to prepare somehow, think about, okay, what's their body language going to be telling me? And that's what you can be talking about. Last but not least, this is gonna sound so cliche, so corny, but this is about confidence. And this is something that I've been struggling with for quite some time when it comes to my improv work, because it's about committing to the bit. And this goes into accents. I have struggled a lot with accents in terms of if the set period is medieval times and people talk like, does thou feel negligent that thee has committed sin? I don't know. Just commit to the bit. But you know, you have a scene and it's set in medieval times, and there were moments, even in that specific example, where I was just like, I can't say words like that. I don't know how they have an accent. So even when I tried to do it, I was so worried about, am I doing it right? And what is that? That's just insecurity. That's just saying, I don't trust myself. I don't trust my intuition that how I'm saying this is going to translate well, and people will judge me. And so we've heard this phrase time and time again, but it rings so true, not just in improv, in our lives, that it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. Oh, they're doing an improv scene right now. So even if you're in the medieval times, just say with confidence. Be like, my intuition tells me thy does not prefer... I was gonna say dumplings. I could have committed to the bit. That's a terrible example, excuse me. But you see there's a difference in the way that I even said something like, he says it a little bit more with his chest out. It's just about committing to the bit. Regardless if it's right by who, I don't even know whose standards you're trying to say who's right by. I'm getting a little tired. My thoughts are getting a little bit everywhere right now, but I do want to leave you with that in case no one has told you yet today, I love you. You matter. You have value. Let me say something I haven't said before. I had something so good, but I totally forgot about it. I'm just gonna harp on this about trusting your intuition. I feel like a lot of us actors, improvisers, human beings, we don't trust our intuition enough. And this is because of the whole confidence, the insecurity, if I say something, if this is what I feel this in my gut, right? If I say this, then other people will judge me for it, or it may not come across the way that I intended. And I found the most interesting scenes to be funny, or just interesting in general, when the player, the scene partner, the group committed to the bit. They just trusted their intuition, reacted in that moment, they listened truthfully. Well, they really just captivated my attention. So there's a lot I threw at you, and I appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next one. I love you.